Recording now.
All right. So the question was, how is Udacity competing with universities, and how do I see that competition working out?
Yes, or connecting with universities and being somewhat of an outside company providing the service to the university to provide further specification and further skills to the students, for example. Do you see diverging or converging?
So we actually do work with universities. There is a single university. Actually, I think there are two universities that we still work with. One, we have an amazing partnership with Georgia Tech University in Atlanta, Georgia, in the States. Georgia Tech has an online Master's of Computer Science. So what it is the same curriculum as their Master's of Computer Science degree, but all online. And students walk away from it with the exact same degree. Their diploma doesn't say online Master's, it just says Master's from Georgia Tech.
That's amazing.
And that program is really amazing, and it is one of a kind too. We have offices on their campus, and we have employees on their campus working with professors.
That's amazing.
So, we do work with universities. I don't think that we're really directly competing with them. We offer something very different, right? We offer mostly adults a chance to learn new skills. We don't even pretend to say that we can take your 18-year-old and turn them into an adult, like a lot of universities say, right? But at the same time, there is overlap in the skills that we teach. And I don't think that we are I would never say that we're directly competing with them. It's just two very different philosophies when it comes to education. And I think that, I would never tell anybody to quit college and take a Udacity class. I would never give anybody that advice. But I think that what we want to do is, maybe when somebody leaves college and they want to keep learning, then they come to us, right? And I couldn't really tell you how universities are going to change that. It's definitely not my area of expertise, but I know that they are changing. I've read a lot about how big and small universities are either getting bigger or smaller because just the world of education is changing, and I'm not sure if that's because of pressure from companies like us or not. But there's another company that works with universities, Coursera. They're an amazing
Coursera,
company. You guys are familiar with them? Yeah,
yes.
They make classes with universities. There's also edX, which makes classes with universities, and they're all amazing too. I think that we don't offer philosophy classes or we don't offer history classes, or a lot of things that they offer, and I think it's awesome what they're doing.
Okay. So, Cameron, I have here 5 questions, 6 actually, from one of our FEND students, Diana VILÉ, and I'm gonna start asking first one. And Philippe is gonna drop in on the first question and on the second for the Android Basics track. Okay?
I don't know a lot about Android, I will say.
But
I've never built an Android app.
But the question will serve for both tracks.
Okay.
So, first question: what advice do you have for non-tech people that start from scratch and want to become a front-end web dev in 2018 or slash Android?
Android, yeah. I think a lot of the advice that I would give somebody is just to keep going. So. The hardest thing, when people ask me, all right, so how should I study? How do I get into tech? What do I need to study? And to be honest, the only wrong answer to that question is nothing at all, right?
Yeah.
The right thing to do is just keep going. Keep giving yourselves problems that you're excited about. Keep finding, giving yourself apps that you want to build, whether it's a web app or an Android app. Doesn't matter, even if it's something like, I want to build a website for my family to organize our events, or I want to build an online calendar so that we, know where everybody is, or there are a million little things you can do like that. Just keep going,
and keep motivated.
Keep giving yourself reasons to be excited. And if you can't find a reason to be excited, there's nothing wrong with looking outside that domain. Maybe for whatever reason web doesn't excite you, but you're like, oh man, a mobile app, that looks awesome, and you want to get excited about, and you get excited about that, so you do it. So that's, the only wrong answer is doing nothing.
Okay.
I'll stick with
and
that.
And it's a great answer. Second question: what are your top 5 tips to succeed as a front-end web developer and slash Android
right.
developer?
Let's see. One, learn how to use your developer tools. So your debugging tools. With Chrome, you have Chrome Dev Tools, which are just amazing. Firefox also, that's still number 1. Firefox also has an amazing set of dev tools. There's no reason you shouldn't use both. Safari has them too. You know, go out there and just get used to them. Use them all the time. And I know that they exist for Android as well. I'm not sure. You have Android Studio, which has debugging features. Get really comfortable with them because that's going to help you out in so many different ways. All right, so there's debugging. Number 2, read books about different programming techniques. I've read a lot of books about like functional programming. You know, there are different paradigms. You have object-oriented programming, you have functional programming, you go far enough back, you have like procedural programming. You don't even read about that, don't worry about it. But at least functional, like go read about it. Like learn new ways of thinking about problems, new ways of approaching problems. Because even if you don't get to apply them, they get your brain moving to, you know, solve problems differently. And you may appreciate what you find out. 3, let's see, learn how to test well. You know, tests are not an excuse for not writing good code, but tests give you confidence. Well-written tests give you confidence that what you're writing is good. I love the feeling. Actually, I had it the other day when I was working on that the uploader that I was talking about. Where, all right, so you've written all this code, it's well tested, but you've never put everything together. And then you put everything together and it just works. And you're like, oh my god, it just works. Like that's incredible. Yeah. And you know, learning how to write good tests can be so helpful for that. So at least a lot of frustration there. So they're the good tests. It's got to be good tests. All right, let's see. 4. You asked for 5. That's a lot. That's a big number. All right, let's see. Number 4. Meet other developers. Yeah, definitely. You know, find communities of people who are solving the same problems and get to know each other. Right, like. One of the best ways to solve any problem is just explain that problem to somebody else. You know, there have been so many times, I don't know if this happened to you guys yet, but I've had so many experiences where I'm like, okay, I can't figure this thing out. I have no idea what's going on. So I go up to one of my coworkers and I'm like, hey, I'm trying to do such and such, but this thing and that thing is happening. Oh my God, I know what it is. And, you know, you run back to your desk. So just finding people that you can talk to and bounce ideas off of can be so valuable. All right, let me see, number 5. I don't know. I feel like those 4 are really good, so I'm going to give a bad one now.
Okay.
Drink coffee or tea.
And I think that was
caffeine. Find a good workspace. There you go. How about that? Good workspace. You know, love where you work. You know, find a place where you're really comfortable working. You know, if people are yelling all over the place and you're always distracted, it's not a good workspace. I actually have a rule in my office. I have an office at home. I am not allowed to use social media in my office. I break that rule sometimes, like for work. Sometimes I have to go on Twitter or I get a Facebook message from a friend. So I'm like, okay, I'll go on there and check them. But like, I don't absentmindedly flip my phone to like Twitter or whatever, Instagram, see what people are doing. No, there's no social media in my office. That's it. So it helps me stay focused.
Slack is super distracting.
What's that?
Slack.
Oh my God.
Super distracting.
I know. I try to quit Slack, but then I get so many important messages. I can't quit because, you know, like the website could be burning down and I'm just like, la la la. So I have to leave it open. But yeah, it is nice every once in a while where you can just quit and then you're just in the zone. You know?
Yeah, you have to be totally focused.
Yeah.
Totally.
Got some good music playing or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. 3rd question. Which are your favorite web dev tools?
Let's see. I don't have favorites. I mean, they're all good in their own ways, right?
In their own ways, yeah.
You have DevTools, which are great. Chrome DevTools are great. Firefox is great. I haven't used Safari that much, but they're all great in their own ways. They're different. They take different philosophies, but I use them all. I don't know. I'd say, okay, my favorite, I'd say the most useful, probably learning shell scripts. It's amazing what you can make your computer do when you learn how to write shell scripts. You can automate parts of your workflow that you couldn't imagine automating before. And it doesn't just apply to web, it applies to everything. So I've actually found that that's really like surprisingly useful. So instead of like, for instance, writing an NPM script for something, you can write a shell script for it, or even translate that to make files, which are really popular. A little bit more advanced, but at the same time, if you start dabbling in that, it actually opens up a lot of possibilities for automating your workflow.
Okay. So 3rd, 4th. What are the most valuable lessons you have learned during your working life? 2. Let's narrow it to 2.
You just have to love what you do. You don't have to. I mean, I've heard the phrase that like, all right, if you love what you do, then you won't work a day in your life. There's actually a weird like converse to that, where like if you are defined by what you do, you're never not working, but you're never working, but you're never not working. And so like you're stressed out all the time. But Man, those are great questions. Yeah, I love what you do. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. You know, find something that you want to do, that you're happy about doing, but you know, still set up some boundaries so you don't go crazy. Like I don't do Udacity work on the weekend unless I really, really have to. You know, I save the weekend for my own projects.
Okay.
I think that there might have just been one. I don't know.
5th question. What is the best advice that has ever been given to you?
I saw these questions before. I didn't have the answer then. I was like, man, maybe after I've been talking for a while.
You read them before. And still, it's difficult. There are difficult questions.
You know, that's a great question. So maybe, I don't want all this
You
dead
can
space.
use cliches.
Yeah, I don't want to use all this dead space on your tape. So,
oh, that's fine. You have 7 more minutes and 2 questions.
I like to read
this
a
one
lot.
and another one.
So is it okay if it's a book and not somebody telling me something?
Of course.
Yeah, it was basically, I don't know if you guys have
Something that it's important for you, something you use as a guideline for your life.
Yeah, okay. We'll go with that. All right, so have you guys read Neil Gaiman? Neil Gaiman, G-A-I-M-A-N. He's a British fiction author. He writes these you might have seen one of his movies. He wrote Coraline, the animated movie from that. There's Stardust. There's another that got turned into a movie. There's another one that's about to turn into a movie. Actually, you guys get American TV shows here, but there's American Gods. Have you heard of that one? It's a newer show. Anyway, he wrote the book behind it. Long story short, great fiction author. And one of his stories called Neverwhere. It's the Nazi Boys. There's a character who basically talks about the voice in their head that basically motivates them to go. And so I've just sort of thought about all right, so what voice do I want in my head? When I'm making decisions, what voice is telling me what I should do? Not like I'm hearing voices, but what's my little guide, right? And so I have one. And that book made me think about that. So I can't say what it is. You're not allowed to talk about it.
That's cool. That's cool. That's pretty cool. So we're down to the last question now. Who inspires you most in the tech world and why?
Yeah. All right. So you've got a lot of great options there. The first one that comes to mind is, of course, Elon Musk, who's amazing, right? I mean, of course, also just, the background of my phone right now is the Falcon Heavy rocket because it's just the coolest thing ever. But to be honest, I don't know a lot about his leadership styles, and I think that he's obviously doing something right based on what his companies are doing. So yeah, he's amazing. I think I like to go a little bit farther back, and there are just so many entrepreneurs, especially when the internet was new and technology was new, that just sort of went out on a limb and were like, you know what, this is going to be a thing, and I'm going to put my whole life into it. Thinking back to Bill Gates and Wozniak and Steve Jobs and people who were just went crazy in their garage building something new. I think that there's a lot to be said for just believing in something so much, but then also being able to execute on that belief with real data behind it, but just putting your whole heart and soul into it, all your passion towards it, and building something that's never existed before. I mean, that's the coolest thing. So, yeah, I'm gonna just give a vague answer like that.
So, thank you, Cameron. Thank you, Udacity, for providing me. I'm 37. I've never went to college in my life, so this is a huge opportunity for me, and thank you very much. Thank you.